injuries like that happening and surfers battling through the pain.
Yeah, we just saw that with Felipe, who surfed his entire heat with that jammed groin or hip, you know, that injury he had, and he was still just going for it. So you're right, the adrenaline just helps you push through.
Well, heat 12, the last heat of the second round, now getting underway. Keanu Asing, the young Hawaiian, in the red, up against Michel Bourez. To 5th position, where he finished in 2014. Here goes Michel now, driving off the bottom. Big committed carve to get started. And again, goes to the rail. Another one of those surfers that just doesn't know how to safety a turn. Even in transition, always looks like he's throwing everything at it. And he comes onto the inside now and gets a tricky, big hit in. Rides on out.
Obviously, Keanu, a shorter guy, but this is someone who's grew up in Hawaii and is very comfortable surfing in big waves. So he's going to put together some good surfing in this heat for sure. This turn right here from Michel Bourez, really nice. Kind of grunted through that. Michel Bourez has a lot of upper body movement when he kind of whips through those carves. And I think on a day like today, when you have a lot of that flat wall, it helps you kind of whip through it. And a great finishing section here for Michel. A lot of those closeout sections are too dangerous to touch, but that one had just enough softness to it where he could kind of belt it, which was fortunate for him, because look, he was able to actually push back. A lot of times guys are just patty caking it so they could survive landing in the flats, but that was a dream section for Michel.
He went on the attack, didn't he? And he got the big reward, a 9.5, the payoff.
Bumps and things you can't quite see from the beach, so yeah, I've been surfing lots of good heats from the beach, and I was just hoping I could go out and find a couple of good waves. So yeah, it's super fun though when you get the right wave. It's like, it feels like you're surfing a heat at sunset or something, and lots of power. And so yeah, I like surfing these kind of waves. It kind of reminds me of a wave by my house. So stoked to be here and get through a heat.
And obviously this Australian leg is a long stretch. I mean, you're going from one event to the next. How do you...
And so everyone has a different version of that. Obviously for Connor, he's got his family with him, and Gurr, as we see Michel Bourez trying to find a backup score. And it had that rhythm to it, Ron. You could tell he just surfed a little more tentative on this wave, especially his last maneuver. Timing was always going to be difficult. It always is difficult out here. You can see how much slope this wave has, so a trickier wave. But right here, watch him avoid the lip. Try to hit it right before. And again, if you don't get that projection out into the flats, you're done.
I like your take on the end section. You're better off almost going on the attack, because it's one of those sections of water that if you're half committed, it's almost trickier to ride out. It's hard to get on top of it if you don't really go for it.
As we see Keanu dropping in. He's had a rough start, but let's see if he can get something going here. Get a slice off the bottom, try and get up into the foam, do some snaps. Boom! Big off the top right there. Can't see it anymore, boys, if you want to take it away.
Well, a nice little cut back there. Just setting up this section. He's found a pretty steep wall. This is one of those dreamy little medium-sized runners. And he might just get a section of water to play with on the inside where he can really get aggressive. Climbs up on top. Just doesn't quite connect the way he would have liked. But again, that was one of those waves that Ross Williams, as we see Keanu taking off deep, driving up into the foam. He'll want to get out in front of it. There's a lot more points on this wave, but he just gets tangled in the whitewater there.
Look pretty deep right now.
And Asing, have a look at the speed to get around that section. Very impressive. But this wave doesn't have a huge wall, so already Keanu's got his work cut out and chasing down an 8.85. Really has to throw some high-risk turns here. Bashes the lip. Doesn't get the release in the tail that maybe he was searching for. Might have something to do with some longer equipment. But just flowing through the inside. Everything is going to be compared to the 9.5 from Bourez early on, where he threw a number of high-impact maneuvers.
That should lessen the requirement right now of almost a 9-pointer. That board looks like it is gliding through the water. Shaper Wade Takoro, amazing shaper in Hawaii, who's shaped some of the best guns on the planet. So Keanu Asing, very trustworthy surfboard under his feet. You can tell he's really connected to it. So nice surfing here from Keanu, but he didn't really get that one big power punch move that he needed to, excite the judges. So it's just going to be an okay score, but there it is, just slightly better than the 5-3.
Still, definitely has a lot of competitive knowledge to pass on, and Keanu will be relying on that to get himself back in this heat, because Michel Bourez continues to light up, trying to better a 4.67 on this wave with 4 minutes remaining. Just really mowing through the bumps at the moment. Michel's doing very well not to catch rail and throw down some major turns, and a solid finish there. A little bit more aggressive than on his previous effort, and as a result he got on top of it.
It's a good looking wave.
He needs a 2-wave total of 16.78. He's going to get into this one. Well, let's see what he can do on the open face. Bit more aggressive on the first turn. Has the speed to get around it. Climbs up on the roof again. There's a solid maneuver. He likes the feel of it. Saving some pride, but he is going to finish up in second spot. Not a lot of time left on the clock here. The onside announcer starting to count this one down. Michel Bourez, one of the best heat score totals of round 2, 16.77. Easily moving on through to round 3.